Welcome to the introduction to geographic information systems in the context of climate change management. To quote Professor Richard Weller from Penn State, he once said at a presentation that we have massive, unprecedented tasks to solve with complex global climate change. But on the other hand, we also have, and he said, the power of gods with all the data we have today. The data from satellites, from drones, from sensors, etc. So you are in a somewhat unprecedented situation. You have very complex problems to solve, but with GIS and current geodata, you also have very, very powerful tools to do this task. And I would like to walk you through GIS and these tools. I will start with a short history of GIS, some time snippets and milestones, explain what a GIS is, what's special about it, and what we will do in this short course. Very quick introduction to GIS. GIS basically existed already before we had computers. It's about geodata, data that has a location, usually coordinates, and analyzing this geodata. And this person here, it's Jon Snow, not the one from Game of Thrones, but this is a doctor in London who was treating a cholera outbreak. And he realized that it was only people in a certain neighborhood affected by this outbreak. And he marked the infected people on a map. And with this mapping exercise, he was able to locate the origin of the outbreak, which was one specific well. And at this time, people didn't know that cholera was caused through dirty water, but he now could follow it back to this well. And you could do the same with a computer system with GIS. Here we have an example, but in some sense that was already a geospatial analysis. In the 1960s, these geospatial analyses were first programmed in a computer in the US and Canada. Here we have an example from Tomlinson, 1962, a geographic information system for regional planning. Soon after, we had development at the Harvard Graduate School of Design. We see here Karl Steinitz and soon after, we had further development at the Harvard Graduate School of Design. And here we see first even 3D analysis, not that different from what we are still doing today. One of the Harvard graduates was Jack Dangermond, a student of Karl Steinitz, and he founded the company Esri, who is now the main GIS company. The branches in different countries, for example, Esri Germany, 1979, near Munich, but Esri overall is the biggest. Not soon after, soon after, the US Army was also developing their own GIS, GRASS-GIS, which was the origin for an open source GIS. And today's very popular open source GIS, QGIS, is going back to GRASS-GIS. So that's actually the main competitor today. In 2005, a new player entered the stage, Google, and until then it was very, very difficult to get data. Data was very expensive. It was also connected with power, with might, so you wouldn't get data from many countries because they were held back. But in 2005, Google unveiled Google Maps and Google Earth, and suddenly, with a tip of your mouse button, you could explore any geodata in any place of the world, which was a revolution. And little task for you: how many apps use location-based services on your smartphone? Have a quick look and you will be surprised how many apps there are using geodata. So what is a GIS, a Geographical Information System? GIS is used for documentation, visualization and analysis of spatial phenomena. It's used for data capturing and managing the data. It's not a software though, it's a whole system consisting of hardware, software, user experts and network combining everything and the data. So all together, that's the GIS, the Geographic Information System. In terms of software, there are two popular packages today. That's the open source QGIS, which runs on almost all platforms, including macOS and Linux, or the PC-based ArcGIS Pro by Esri. In our course, we're using QGIS and open source GIS, which fits best to the open educational resources. However, those learnings can easily be transferred to ArcGIS. So I invite you to follow the next short lectures.